Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and it looks like XRP Las Vegas has got a new trailer out. Remember, XRP Las Vegas, they've got the dates on here. I think it's May 3rd and 4th.
XRP Las Vegas is now 87 days away. Hear from Simon McLaughlin, CEO of event sponsor Uphold. Get the latest updates in crypto IRAs. From event sponsors iTrustCapital CEO Kevin Maloney. David Schwartz brings the latest updates at Ripple on stage.
But ultimately, I see the AMM as a trading engine. It executes a trading strategy on behalf of those people who sort of provide the liquidity. You can actually harvest that volatility to generate a yield. I'm much more personally excited about that than I am about the fact that it provides liquidity, but it does also provide liquidity. It does also make markets.
Book your room now at the MGM Grand. Get your tickets now before this event is sold out.
It sold out last year, by the way, folks. Go in the description of this video. I have all the links, and also if you go join DAIXRP.com, you can get a discount. Okay, check this out. This is strange. It says this is weird. The S&P 500 is within 0.35% of 3-year high. Fewer than 40% of its stocks are above their 10-day average, fewer than 60% above their 50-day, and fewer than 70% above their 200-day. Since 1928, that's only happened once before, August 8th, 1929. Think Great Depression. Not good. Here's an interesting clip, a Medico talk.
You know, given the background in TradFi, we see a lot of the TradFi names, be it Larry Fink or others, you know, evangelizing about tokenization. You know, we'd love to get your views on that and how, you know, does that fit in the roadmap for Rule Match as well?
Absolutely. I mean, of course, there's also a multifaceted topic. I think first and foremost, sometimes this is black or white view, right? Like blockchain is good and tokenization, crypto not. Of course, we don't share this, right? We do believe that crypto as a class is here to stay, no doubt. At the same time, yes, let's be honest, the real disruption will come with tokenization, no doubt. Financial instruments and so forth, they will be tokenized. It takes time, but they will. And I think what we are now building now, like Metaco, like us, like other players in the market, we are effectively building the rails, right, for tokenization to come. And so, yeah, it will take time. I think everything else is naive. And also, you know, if you really want to replace some existing technology with new, you really need to show that you really make something better, cheaper, quicker, and so forth. It certainly needs to play in the same rules. That's important, right? Regulation, that you do not basically compare apple with oranges here. But you need to make something better. So this takes time. And in our view, of course, tokenization will be massive. And I think we have a bit of a saying, we do believe that those banks and securities firms that trade and are engaged in crypto right now, most likely are those who will be the first to actually also be active in token securities. And I don't talk about pilots. I talk about real world offerings. I think participants that we know, they of course they have ideas about tokenization. As for Rule Match, you can imagine, I think, there is of course a perspective when we talk about non-discretionary, when you think about all these principles, all these systems we use, all the effort. You can expect we don't do it only for crypto, but it's not about the time to talk about that as of right now. We focus now on that phase, but certainly we will be prepared.
All right, and then here was one more clip. They call it the perfect game plan. Listen to this.
Yeah, come for the crypto and stay for the tokenization.
Come for the crypto and stay for the tokenization. Now, we're hearing a lot from Janet Yellen today about stable coins and all that. what I'm interested in is two things on this thing. First of all, right here it says that this is it says Secretary Yellen warns Congress of digital assets risk in her statement. This is the statement before the hearing. Listen to this. Applicable rules and regulations should be enforced, and Congress should pass legislation to provide for regulation of stable coins and of the spot market for crypto assets that are not securities. Well, XRP is the only digital asset that is not in and of itself a security legally. And so that's a fact right now. But they're wanting to pass legislation for stable coins. Well, to do stable coins, I would think that would also include tokenization, wouldn't it? So then this is from the hearing with Janet Yellen today.
5 minutes. And so let's begin with your last point on the regulation of the spot market for digital assets. This committee has produced two bipartisan bills, one on stablecoins, one on market structure to regulate the spot market of digital assets and provide this clarity between the CFTC and the SEC. So you testify that FSOC's view is that we need federal law and law changes on the spot market. Can you tell us why? Can you describe why? That's FSOC's belief.
Well, there are many areas with respect to digital assets where we do have clear regulatory authority, but we've identified some gaps where for consumer investor protection and to address financial stability risk, it would be very useful for Congress to take action to fill those gaps. And the CFTC, for example, doesn't have supervisory or regulatory authority with respect to spot markets and commodities like Bitcoin. So that's a regulatory gap. Furthermore, stable coins pose risk to the financial system that both FSOC and the President's Working Group on Financial Markets have identified as potentially becoming significant over time. And we would very much welcome an effort by Congress to create a regulatory framework that would be appropriate to address those risks.
So stable coins are now being regulated by the states. New York has a very resilient regime. Are you suggesting something like the New York regime would be applicable to fix this problem?
Well, FSOC believes that it's critical for there to be a federal regulatory floor that would apply to all states, and that a federal regulator should have the ability to decide if a stablecoin issuer should be barred from issuing such an asset. Also, we believe that because wallets are a critical part of the stablecoin ecosystem, and we've seen many instances in which there have been significant losses, that it's critical to enact regulatory protections for holders of wallets.
So back to the spot market, though. As in your report, you state clearly that we need to change law for us to have proper regulation of the digital asset spot market. Is that correct?
Yes, that's a recommendation.
Okay, and then here was the other clip, and it's interesting that she's referring to a run on crypto.
Council is focused on digital assets and related risks, such as from runs on crypto asset platforms and stablecoins, potential vulnerabilities from crypto asset price volatility, and the proliferation of platforms acting outside of or out of compliance with applicable laws and regulations. Applicable rules and regulations should be enforced, and Congress should pass legislation to provide for the regulation of stablecoins and of the spot market for crypto assets that are not securities. We look forward to continuing to engage with Congress on this. With this overview, I look forward to taking your questions on these.
Well, I took this time to remind everybody that the adults in the room were talking about addressing issues like a potential run on crypto or run on Ripple way back 5 years ago when Dogecoin was just a pump and dump puppy. This is what the adults in the room were talking about.
Council is focused on digital assets and related risks, such as from runs on crypto asset platforms and stablecoins, potential vulnerabilities from crypto asset price volatility, and the proliferation of platforms acting outside of or out of compliance with applicable laws and regulations.
The question, and Brad, this is an honest question. Ripple is, one of your products is to distribute liquidity through the payments system. So the question is, could there be a run on Ripple? In other words, everybody wants your liquidity. Nobody wants to provide it because there is a scenario where people develop doubts for good reasons or bad about the system.
So let me first clarify what Ripple provides. Ripple doesn't provide liquidity. Ripple provides technologies that allow you to access liquidity that exists in the marketplace. In the last 24 hours, the digital asset marketplace traded about $50 billion of liquidity in 24 hours. That includes XRP, but that includes Bitcoin and Ether and what have you. So, could there be a run on digital assets at large? Just the nuance of the question is, Ripple sells technologies. Can there be a run on Ripple? I don't know what that looks like. I mean, I can't really think about that. Could there be a run on digital assets? I don't know. I mean, today again, $50 billion of liquidity, and people are moving liquidity around. For XRP, a settlement happens in 3 seconds. And so, to your point of taking 24 hours, I mean, 24 hours that's a positive story of a cross-border transaction. Many take longer. So it's taking a 3-second transaction and the risk associated with a 3-second transaction as compared to a day or 2 or 3. I think most people would say, hey, I feel better about taking 3 seconds of risk than, a day or 2. So could there be a run on digital assets? Even that, I don't know exactly how to think about, because again, there's a lot of, I suppose at $50 billion a day in a nascent, I view it as a pretty nascent market today. And people are getting liquidity that exists in the marketplace in local regions between XRP and the Philippine peso, XRP and the Argentine peso, XRP and the Brazilian real. And it's tapping into that liquidity that exists in the marketplace.
Okay, now Ashley Prosper had a very interesting tweet, and I want to show you this before we go to daixrp.com because it ties in. 7 possible ways that Ripple case could end. 1, Ripple and SEC reach settlement, case ends. 2, Ripple and SEC accept remedies ruling from Judge Torres and no one files an appeal, case ends. 3, Ripple and or SEC appeal to Second Circuit for remedies phase. Second court agrees with Judge Torres. No one files appeal to SCOTUS. Case ends. 4, Ripple and SEC and or SEC appeal to second court after remedies phase. Second Circuit agrees with Judge Torres. Ripple and or SEC file appeal to SCOTUS. Case ends. 5, Ripple and or SEC appeal to Second Circuit for after remedies phase. Second Circuit finds fault in ruling and remands back to Judge Torres. Both sides accept the new ruling from Judge Torres. Case ends. 6, Ripple and or SEC appeal to Second Circuit for remedies phase. Second Circuit remands back to Judge Torres. One or both parties do not accept the new ruling from Judge Torres, and Ripple appeals again. Second Circuit agrees with Judge Torres, and no one appeals to SCOTUS. Case ends. 7, Ripple and or SEC appeal to Second Circuit Court after remedies phase. Second Circuit remands back to Judge Torres. One or both parties do not accept the new ruling from Judge Torres and appeals again. Second Circuit agrees with Judge Torres. One or both party appeal to SCOTUS. Case ends. Now, here's what we're going to talk about in daixrp.com. I went and asked AI, I asked Grok the same thing. What are 7 possible scenarios? I'm not going to pay attention to 6 of them, but the one that it spit out is the most interesting against the backdrop of what Janet Yellen said about regulations and stable coins, That's what we're going to talk about in DAI XRP. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. We're going to talk about what is Grok's number 7 possible way the Ripple case ends. It is very fascinating. Here we go.